I call the Township of Aleppo Commissioners meeting of March 18, 2025 to order at 7 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
President Jones.
Present.
Commissioner Darrow.
Present.
Commissioner Haluka. Here. Solicitor Jewett.
Here.
Manager Patterson. Here.
This meeting, as all others, will be recorded and uploaded to YouTube. Do I hear a motion to approve the February 17th legislative meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Chief.
All right, good evening, everyone. For the month of February, a little bit busier month for us, we had a total of 80 calls. Of course, a lot of that was EMS, 33 EMS calls. Excuse me. We had one DUI arrest. Somebody was driving, hit a parked car in another jurisdiction, and we tracked them down to coming up the road into Aleppo here, pulled them over, arrested for a DUI. We had an abandoned vehicle down at the, on Overlook without a license plate and registration attached to it, so we dealt with that. Several fire alarms, natural gas, residence alarms, one fraud call. A total of, because the weather's been breaking, we've been attempting to increase our traffic. We've had a total of 21 traffic citations issued, and that covers Glenville Road, North Drive, and of course Deer Run. So with that, several warnings were issued in addition to that. With that, I think that wraps up everything concerning the community. There was some other calls, domestics and whatnot, but nothing for the community in general. Any questions or concerns from me? All good?
Well, perhaps
We're good.
Commissioner Luca might have something to add.
I've been contacted by another number of residents, 8 to be exact today, regarding the plan of the HOA at Sibley Heights Manor to mark all of their private roads fire lanes. And everyone got a letter today that you would fine everyone $300 if they violated those fire lanes. And so I promised a number of people that I would bring that to your attention, and I assume that you would look into it for us.
I will look into that. So I have not been in contact from the HOA. I've not received any notification of such. I will say that the part of the Sibley Heights Manor that's what is not owned by Aleppo Township, if it is private roadways, it's still considered a public access way, so limited traffic laws can apply to that to include fire lanes. Fire lanes, however, have to be properly marked, properly posted, and enough time to the residents have to be notified so they can adjust accordingly. I'd like to stress, though, on even with that, if the officer should come across somebody parked in that lane, as always, we work with residents and find out what's going on. We're not going around issuing citations just on a whim, right, or towing anybody's car. We work with people all the time with abandoned vehicles or broken down vehicles or other traffic issues. If they're residents, we try to work the best with them to overcome whatever issue that they have. If somebody's temporarily offloading another person, albeit elderly, handicapped, whichever, and then you get closer to the house, that's perfectly acceptable even in a fire lane for a temporary pause. But again, I will look further into that. I hope the HOA reaches out to me to notify us of that and what their plan is with that. But again, there's a lot of state law that has to be met with that for it to be properly posted, for it to be enforced.
Thank you, Chief.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, and as always, anything else we can do for you?
No, this is good enough here. See something, say something, but everything's going.
Saw something, said something.
Yeah, yeah. Everything else seems to be going.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
If the HOA can determine that the roads don't comply and are subject to a fine or penalty, is the same true, say, of speeding violation? The HOA set up a speed limit?
So, in any public roadway, the minimum speed limit is 25 miles per hour. So, Again, that's something that we would take a look at. The chances of somebody, we technically are not permitted to issue any citations until you're 10 miles over the speed limit. So now it's 36 and above. So the chances of somebody doing that in that area is very, very slim, right? But I've seen some jurisdictions or some private communities try to make it a lower speed limit, like 15. That's completely up to them, but it's not enforceable by police departments.
Right.
So, but, you know, yes, did that answer your question? Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anything else? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
You too.
Emergency management?
I do have one thing from the county that I just need to share with all the residents. The county has set up a reporting function for avian flu. There have been no human transmissions of avian flu within Allegheny County, but they've set up a reporting and they have issued some guidance. So any jurisdiction that may have chickens needs to keep in mind that if staff has to handle animals, particularly if they feel that they're ill, that they need to use full personal protective equipment, masks, gloves, eye protection. They should avoid handling any sick or dead birds, including clearing them off of roads, etc. And they need to be reported, the sighting of any sick or dead wild birds, to the Pennsylvania Game Commission. Their number's available online. But I'll give it to you if anybody wants it. It's 833-742-4868, or you can go to PGC Wildlife Health at pa.gov, and you can report it there. All ill flocks of even home chicken flocks must be reported to them.
Thank you.
Can we get a copy of that statement so that we can work from it and perhaps post it on our website?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
At last night's Swickley Heights Manor homeowners meeting, a discussion continued about, is there an evacuation plan for wildfires in the manor? Could you comment briefly on that?
Absolutely, there is. We have a full emergency operation procedure that includes the evacuation of the manor, both from the front and the back. So we have an egress, even though that it's not publicly marked, et cetera, we have a plan to get people in and out.
Thank you.
No one will be stuck in the manor.
Thank you. Public Works?
Unless they're parked in the front.
Good evening. By the way, we have not found any dead birds yet. So. and I hope-
Good for you,
and I
you're
hope
probably
we don't.
looking knowing you can.
And I hope we don't. Good evening, everyone. On your report, you'll see, fortunately, it seems like the severe cold weather is gone, so we're not having ice issues on any roads.
Thanks a lot, you just got us an 18-inch snowstorm.
We actually cleaned up the trucks. Hopefully, we don't have to put salt in them again. We still have plenty of salt, though, if something would happen. We patched a bunch of potholes on several of the roads. Serviced all the snow plows and salt spreaders. That's about it. Any questions?
Are you keeping your eye on Rhodes Avenue?
Yes, I am. I tell Gwen all the time, nothing has changed
Good.
since we put our temporary patch. Our
Few
temporary,
pounds of,
permanent patch.
Any questions? Thank you very much.
as always, thanks for all you do, Tim.
Pardon me?
Thanks for all you do, as always.
Communications?
I do have one email that we received from a resident, and they asked that we could read it at this meeting. It says, "We would like to take this opportunity to thank the road and water crews for the outstanding work they do for us each and every day. This winter had been an exceptional challenge. The frequency and timing of the snow has been constant. Our roads are treated and plowed at all hours of the day and night. Likewise, the water crew is always busy maintaining and repairing our water system. We've seen them in all kinds of weather conditions. Deep in a hole, then a few hours later, the hole is filled, patched, and water is back on. Sometimes we become complacent and take these services for granted. It's our dedicated and hardworking crews that make it all happen. A very grateful Don and Barb Black on Weber Road."
Wonderful.
People noticed it.
I'm glad to hear it.
Planning and zoning?
So we just received a conditional use application today for a building down on Overlook Drive in the industrial park. It's a freestanding building that is in the process of being sold going from one owner to another. And the business that wants to buy it and move in is considered a construction-related business. And our new zoning ordinance has some certain uses that require conditional use approval from the board. So they submitted their application today, which means they'll be on the agenda for the planning commission in April. And then if all goes well, there'll be a conditional use hearing in front of you guys at the April legislative meeting.
Good.
Gwen, we'll have to take a little bit of a look at that timing, that we might need like a 1-day extension depending on if the planning commission needs a little bit of time. We have to hold the hearing within 60 days, and with a 31-day month, we might just have, if the planning commission
If the planning commission needs to go to May.
Needs to go to May.
Got it, got it.
Tax collector treasurer.
Good evening, everybody. In your packet, you should have the February report. As you can see, we ended up collecting $52,676.69 for the month of February. Pages 3 and 4 just kind of do analysis of comparing February 2025 to February 2024. Pretty close. Then just give you the year-to-date budget numbers to the budget. And you can kind of see where that plays out from the 2025 year as compared to the 2024 year with all of that. As far as our ending account balances, the PNC checking account, which is our operating fund, basically, we have $271,369.89 in that. Then our various investment accounts, our liquid fuels account has $50,953.15. You authorized the payment last month for those, which is why that has been lowered. Our general investment savings account has $1,370,873.27. Our reserve fund has $127,677.51. And then our capital improvement fund has $1,090,311.53. When you kind of add that all up, take out the pledged funds, the targeted funds, we have net operating funds of $1,642,243.16. And then our sewer bond account has $855,734.25. And our stormwater account has $388,782.64. Any questions, concerns?
Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
Very
Thank
welcome.
you. Finance, do I hear a motion as written?
Motion to approve February bill list in the amount of $42,778.05, to ratify February paid bills in the amount of $11,472.23, and ratify February payroll transfers in the amount of $21,348.82.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion to transfer $18,098.10 from the liquid fuels fund to the general fund for the payment of road salting bases.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Aleppo Township Authority.
Motion to adopt the ordinance extending Aleppo Township Authority's existence for another 50 years.
I will second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Manager Patterson, is there any update on the revamping of the pump station?
I have not heard anything.
So we haven't transferred any funds?
Correct.
Quaker Valley Ambulance Authority.
No report.
Quaker Valley COG.
No report.
Solicitor.
My only item is that with this adoption of the ordinance, we'll now file the articles of amendment for the authority April 10th, and then they will be good for another 50 years. I'm sure they're very thankful. Other than that, nothing to report, unless there's any questions I can answer.
Any questions? Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Unfinished business.
So, we've talked about, for the last couple meetings, we talked about that we have an open seat on both the Planning Commission and on the Aleppo Township Authority Board. And a bunch of years ago, when we had some open seats at one time, we did a postcard mailing out to all the residents in the township, just, letting them know, because not everybody, if you can believe it, not everybody watches this, and not everybody gets the digest. So this is a way to reach out to some of the people that may not be aware of all the things that we talk about in the meetings. And so if the board is interested in having us send that out, Patty's compiled a nice database for the residents for the mailings for the Christmas tree thing, so we can just piggyback on that. And she's, designed a basic postcard mailing that's just a notice to residents. We have openings on the following boards, these are the terms, call us,
Great idea,
so,
Good idea.
great idea.
I don't think we need a motion.
no, we just do it, that's
And
okay.
we do have 3 candidates for the authority board now,
Oh, great.
don't we?
I've received a letter from one.
I'm aware of 2.
That's 3.
No.
Good job, Art. Don't know if we overlap, don't know, but yeah.
2 or 3.
We have at least 2.
Yes. At least
I
2.
think we have 3. And nobody for the planning commission?
Not so far.
And if you are listening, forgive me, but there was a young man that came in with an interest in participating several years ago.
Mhm.
Do we have his name?
We do,
Because I think he'd be an ideal candidate for the planning commission.
sure, I can get that for you.
And if you were listening, please give us a call. Earth Day roadside cleanup.
The date has been selected for this year's event. It'll be Saturday, April 26th. The standard procedure, gather here, it's a little bit before 9 for donuts and coffee, and then the crews will fan out on the main roads that we do, which are Deer Run, Red Gate, and Glenfield Road, and then if we have a million volunteers, we can go other places. The crews will be out, volunteers and staff will be here to help facilitate this. Nobody has to walk up Deer Run Road, so don't let that deter you. We will drive a shuttle truck that will ferry you up and down the hill. So, it's actually a really nice day, and it's more fun than you would think. So, we welcome all volunteers.
Have the number of bags increased every year?
Actually, last year, I think we were down a little bit.
Because?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Oh my, so we need people to fill more garbage, April 25th,
No, we don't.
so then we're back.
We have enough
We can't
people
go
doing that
backwards,
now.
we're overachievers.
Well, I think I've noticed one thing, Deer Run seems to be cleaner each year, at least at the top.
At the top.
This is Aleppo
Not too
101, we
much
have to
down
be
below.
first in everything.
There's several areas on Deer Run that, I'm not gonna say anything else about it, that they end up with more garbage than others.
Has Amazon continued to assist every once in a while?
Not that we're aware of.
Okay.
And I do have one other little item of unfinished business, or new business. The Quaker Valley Cog has a tree adoption event, so you can sign up to receive a free tree to be planted, and so the information is on our website and it's on our front door. And if anybody wants more information, we can provide it, but they have, they did this last year and it was very successful. They ran out of trees, so that's a good thing. And then the hard to recycle event will be returning. It's targeted for October again, but if the date isn't, I don't think it needs to be confirmed. But just, watch latest news and we'll keep you updated on that. That's the big drop-off event for all the stuff that doesn't fall into the categories that our waste management contract covers.
What sorts of items fall outside of our waste management deal?
Televisions, computers.
Polystyrene, Freon containing appliances, tires.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the waste management plan won't pick those up?
Not all that stuff. It'll do
Okay.
a lot of like the liquids and it'll do electronics.
So it's a nice compliment.
Say they will do electronics?
Yeah, it's a special scheduled event, but yes, they will
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Any additional citizen participation? We're adjourned.
Citizens